Hey everybody, welcome back to the Unbiased Bias Review. Again, my name is James, and I just thought do a little bit of an update on the IQ Power Tools IQ 228 Cyclone 7-inch dry saw. I don't know if you've watched my previous video on it and stuff, just kind of setting it up, getting an initial feel for it. But this is a little bit of update because I've used it a little bit more, done a couple backsplashes of ceramic and done a floor and stuff out of porcelain. I will include some pictures in this video of some of that work and everything. But just a little bit, like I said, of an update. It did over time. Some of the ceramic did end up cutting a little bit cleaner on some of the edges. Obviously, it was just like a white subway, which ended up being okay. Was somewhat happy with it, but also with it being a dustless thing, I think I'm including a picture of this. There is a picture I have where some of the dust was not completely being sucked in underneath. It's getting collected on top of the blade guard. I did see sometimes some of the dust would kind of like come up. I don't know if that's because I was cutting outside. Wasn't super windy or anything, just something to keep in mind. I know they kind of say it's a 100% dustless kind of thing, or 99%, whatever it is. I did get some of the ceramic to cut a little bit nicer, not chipping, breaking off on the end. The problem with some of it is the table that actually moves is actually a little bit higher than the other side, which can cause the piece to sit a little bit on an angle, which causes them to break a little more. I was aiming to have it go through and kind of hold up actually the one side, just very slightly, like keeping my hand on it, which gets to be a little bit of a nuisance. Also, for nicer cuts, I was having to go extremely slow compared to a wet saw, which, yeah, you're saving time on not having to get water, clean the saw with water at the end. But in the long run, I almost don't even know if it's worth it with how much time extra it was taking me to make cuts so they were kind of clean and going through. It's a little bit of a nuisance. Also, the chips and stuff, I did a backsplash. I was like, okay, let's try this inside the house. Let's do that. I was in the kitchen. Little chips from the subway tile, all over. I think I also have pictures of that I'm including. It's just like all over the floor, huge mess that I had to clean up. Yeah, it's not water, but still something I probably wouldn't do if the homeowner was, like real picky about things or something else. At least this homeowner was kind of cool, and he was gone most of the time and kind of let me do whatever in this house, and I was doing this whole kitchen. Then I was also cutting some porcelain. I did have to switch blades to the IQ hard tile blade, which is kind of a bummer that they don't include it in the package, especially for the cost of it. And they also don't include a dressing stone, which they highly recommend using and doing. Kind of another downfall where you already have to spend like $600 on the saw. Now you gotta buy, I don't even know how much the hard tile blade is, because if you're doing tile, you're gonna need it. You're not just only cutting ceramic, you're gonna be cutting porcelain. So that's kind of a pain, like I said, and they don't include like a dressing stone with it and everything, which I feel like if those things are really needed and to help optimize your saw, they should have included it with it, especially for the price. I'm also including, I think, a picture of one of the cuts I made on some of the porcelain. You'll see it's still not a very clean cut, even with the hard tile blade. Yes, it did cut through the material itself a little bit nicer, but once again, even with the ceramic, did have to take my sweet time going through and making cuts. At least on the floor that I didn't have to make a ton. I was able to use my tile cutter, just rip, snap, made that a whole lot easier. But so that's kind of my little bit of an update on the saw after using it. I'm going to still use it a little bit. I'm still up in the air. I don't know if I'd give it a better rating or anything. Like I said, especially for the price, hopefully maybe it comes down, or they do decide to include the extra blade. If they did include that extra blade in there, might be kind of worth it. But some of the other things I mentioned about the chipping and having to go slow, it's just other things to keep in mind. And with the extra, chips going everywhere for cleanup, so make sure you're aware of that. Just don't think you're going to go into somebody's house to use it right on, because I know there's some videos and the people are talking like, oh yeah, just in the house, or it's set up right on the countertop and I'm cutting these things. No, I would not do that, especially if a homeowner's around and stuff. they will not like that at all. So that's just kind of my review with it. If there's anything else you guys would like for me to review, please leave it in the comments. I'll try to do my best to maybe get it. Sorry it's been so long since I've done anything. Been super busy with work, which is good, I guess, but bad for doing reviews, I guess. But yeah, if anything you want to see, just leave it down in the comments. Like I said, I'll try to muster up the money to buy it. I'm not sponsored by anything or anything like that. And like everybody always says in the YouTube videos, hit that like, subscribe button, and I guess turn on notifications, and we'll see you in the next one.